Hello, it's Diane Roberts here, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. My blog site is score4.25.blogspot.com, and I'm going to make a card tonight for the PALS Paper Arts Challenge. And this week with PALS, we have a color challenge. The colors that we're challenged to use are Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, and So Saffron. Thought I had those stamp pads here. Well, don't need to show you the colors. You'll see them as we go along. So what I'm going to do, my idea is to use those three colors, and I was going to go fall, of course, but I just want to do kind of like, I got this new stamp set last week, 4 feathers, and I've already made a card with it, and I used the gold, Encore Gold ink, and it was really cool, and I just want to make some more cards with this, with the feathers. I also have the framelits, feathers framelits. It's actually called Feathers Framelits Dies. I also have these, so it makes it really quick to cut out the feathers. So my idea was to use Naturals Ivory, of course, my very favorite. It's my color of choice for paper. And what I had is a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and here it is, what you can do with one piece of paper. Get the big shot out of the way. So here's what I did. This is the way it would have been. I cut the piece of paper in half at 4 1/4 inches. I scored it at 5 1/2. Fold on the score line to have an upright standing card, and then I took the piece that was left over and took 1/4 inch off so that this would be 4 inches, and I cut it at 5 1/4 so that it would just be 1/4 inch smaller. And I like Naturals Ivory on Naturals Ivory. Now what you can see I've done here is I have taken the Gorgeous Grunge stamp set. I'm just trying to speed things up for you. I took the Gorgeous Grunge and I used, first of all, I used this stamp, the splotch stamp, and I used the So Saffron ink. Here's a piece of scrap that I used. You can see I would take the image, stamp it here first, and then I stamped off on this piece. So they're lighter. And then I took the small water dots right here, and I did that in the Early Espresso, and I stamped off again, and then stamped it onto the card. Now you can see I've got it inked up with the Calypso Coral, and I just want to have a little bit of the third color in there, Calypso Coral, and I'm going to stamp off on this one too. Put it in the ink, stamp off, and then just very lightly put a little, just a tiny bit of that color in the design, because those are our 3 challenge colors, and I want to use them. I want to use them in this. So there we have it. So there's our splotchiness from our Gorgeous Grunge, which I just love grunge these days. Don't know what it is about that grunge, but I really like it. Okay, next what I am going to do is use a little bit of the natural twine, the natural linen thread, because this is something else I especially like. Let's see. I think I'm going to make this the bottom. Oh, but you know what I should do? What my plan is to do some, tie some thread, and I'm going to put feathers here, and I have to leave room for the sentiment. So I think I'm going to put the sentiment right about here, and I think I'll do that now. I hope it's where I want. Oh, wait a minute. The sentiment might look better right here because I left a little bit of a cleaner spot. So what I'm going to do, I'm using the stamp set Perfect Penance, and I'm going to use Life Doesn't Have to Be Perfect to Be Wonderful, because I like that saying. And I've used it only once. Well, I used it once before, and I really enjoyed it. So what I do is check to see if my stamp is straight. Looks like my stamp is straight on the block. So I am going to put the sentiment right about, let's line this up on my grid, and I'm going to put it, Zuzu, please be quiet. My poor little Zuzu has an Elizabethan collar on today. She happens to have a hot spot that she won't leave alone. And there it is. Life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. So there's our sentiment in the early espresso. Next, I'm going to close this Calypso Coral before it's all over the place. Now I can put the, I'm going to put this natural twine here. And I'm not going to tie it on the outside. I am going to tape it to the back of the card. Like so. Maybe up there. Hopefully it's where I want it. If not, nothing is forever. We can take anything. Anything we put together we can take apart, right? That's the attitude. That's a good way of looking at it. So now we will... That's lousy. Okay, here we go. Okay. So there we have our tape. I've got open ink everywhere. I'm dangerous with that. Now all we need to do is attach our feathers to the card, and then, well, no, you know what I can do? I can attach this panel now. I should have some snail around here. Here it is. Okay. My desk is very messy at this point in time. I've been not good about cleaning up. That's the plan. Later tonight I'm going to try to do some cleaning up here. You know, now that I'm looking at this, I would have liked a little piece of, maybe I should change it. A little piece of Calypso Coral at this point, in between each, would look nice. But I'm going to go with it plain. If I make another one, I'll do that. Okay, I changed my mind. I don't want to go running for paper now while we're taping. I don't want to stop it, because the dogs are being reasonably quiet. As soon as I change, they will start getting noisy again. So, what I have done is I have stamped one of the feathers in Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, and here's one in So Saffron. And now I'm going to cut them out using the Big Shot. I love these feathers. You know, I didn't buy these feathers when they first came on. I said, someone once said, if you can't do some, you know, if you can't use a stamp set 5 times, you shouldn't buy it. And I don't know if I really believe that, but I probably was using it as something of a rule of thumb, because I said, well, I know I could make one card with that, but what would I ever do with the feathers? But the feathers are just cool. They're so natural. They're just a natural thing. It's just something that's natural, found in nature, and so, of course, you can use it over and over and over, because they can be any color. I'm using my magnetic platform to get these straight. I kind of stamped them a little close together, but I'm saving paper, right? Conserve, conserve. Okay, so then we take, hope they didn't move, the top piece, run it through the Big Shot, and pull out these 2 feathers. So Saffron and our Early Espresso. Okay. And now I need my, oh no, I'm sorry, my So Saffron and my Calypso Coral. Duh. Here's the Early Espresso. Right here. Actually, the other day when I made my other feather card, I had already stamped this because I was experimenting with baked brown sugar and Early Espresso. And for what I was doing the other day, the baked brown sugar worked out well, but this is part of the challenge. So here we go with the Early Espresso feather. Okie dokie. Get rid of the Big Shot. Pop this out. Righty then. Okay, who do we want on top? Then it's just a matter of arranging your feathers on your card. I like this. I think I like this a lot. And I'm going to put this one here. Yep, I think that's the way it's going to go. Okay, so the way in which I will do this is what? I think I'm going to use Tombow. I'm going to use Tombow to attach the feathers to each other, and then I think I'm going to use dimensional. So just give me a dot of Tombow right there, and I'm going to stick this to this side. show off these feather ends, and then I'm going to stitch. I'm going to glue with just a drop here the Tombow for the So Saffron feather. I love these feathers. You gotta get the feathers. You gotta get the feathers stamp set. It's pretty neat. The four feathers. Okay. And now I am going to use dimensionals. I've decided. I'm going to use dimensionals. It's good that you can't see the rest of my table. Oh my goodness. I'm very negligent in cleaning up these days. Hang on. Here they are. I knew I brought a new set over. These I lose all the time. I don't lose. They're not gone. They just are not at my fingertips at the second I need them. There we go. I'll put 3 and flip off these little backings. I think I'm going to like this card. You know, in this day and age, a lot of my friends just need a little bit of a pep talk every now and then, me included. And this Stampin' Up! Sentiment kind of works well for that. Got a few little crumbs here from the Big Shot that I didn't flick off. There we go, that's off. So there you have it. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. I kind of like this card. And you know, I think even your masculine friends, because sometimes a lot of my cards turn out a little too flowery, or flowers, ribbons, sequins. I don't send those to my guy friends. But this is a nice one. This is a nice one. And you know, guys can use a pep talk too every now and then. So a little pick-me-up card. So what we might do, just to finish it off, I think I'm going to do a little, it's like I don't want to say goodbye to you, huh? I'm going to find some ink. What did I do with all the ink? I closed it so that I wouldn't get it all over the place. Here we go. I'm going to put a little feather in the corner in the inside, and then we will be done. So let me just take the sentiment off this acrylic block. Flip this one on. Do I want clips off? Yeah, let's brighten it up on the inside. I always stamp first, see if I've got any junk. Yeah, looked like I had some junk. Any junk on the stamp? Alright, we're going to put a little, yeah, that's the back. Put the little feather on the inside, and take my Stampin' Up! Personalized stamp and stick that on the outside, and my card is finished. Thanks for joining me tonight. Check out my blog. There's a big sale going on for just a few days. I think it's October 1st through the 5th or the 6th, and all paper is on sale, and there's some stamp sets on sale. And envelopes. So check it out. It's a quick sale. And consider going to palspaperarts.com and .blogspot.com, I think. Go to my blog. There'll be a link for this card on the site. And think about joining the challenge. Thanks for stopping by. Happy stamping.